it is Salvage Saturday, and if you've been around a while, you know it's one of my favorites, so let's get into it. I'm going to start off with this piece of wood. It is from a pallet that I cut apart, and I'm just going to start off with kind of removing any nails or at least pushing them down. I had a bit of a hard time. We actually cut apart the pallet with a reciprocating saw, and some of the nails are still stuck in there, but I'm going to remove what I can, and then what I cannot remove because it's pushed down into the board, what I will end up doing is actually adding in some of the Starbond glue and the accelerator to kind of basically keep it where it is so it doesn't come out. But once that is all said and done, I'm going to go in with my sander, and I'm going to start off at probably like a 40 grit or an 80 grit sandpaper, and really just kind of get rid of all of the like major stuff, major bumps and everything like that. Now what I did end up doing is I did add a stain on here. This is the wood tint from Folk Art in the color dark walnut, I believe. Dark walnut? Hold on. Walnut. I was looking right at it. And after that is done and dry, I do go in with my Starbond. Like I mentioned, I'm going to cover up all of the spots where there may be any nails left and that gigantic knot there on the back. I have like broken off the tip of my Starbond glue, so I know its lifespan is quickly diminishing. So I'm like, well, I may as well just use it. And now that that stain has kind of completely dried, because this is a water-based stain, I am going to go in again with the sandpaper. I'm really going to focus in on the spot where I added the glue so I can kind of get the excess worn away. And then what I will do, because this is obviously very different in between the stained wood and the not stained wood, I will go over that again with the wood stain. But I do want to kind of give a good amount of sanding down just to give it a much more weathered look. Now I am adding in a couple of different colors. I'm going to mix my own little custom color. That is pumpkin, crimson, and oh my goodness, what's the chocolate color? I can't remember the name of it. These are all Waverly colors. I'm just trying to look at my paint behind me. I cannot remember it for the life of me, what the heck it's called. But anyways, it's mostly the orange and the red color, and then a little bit of the brown. I think I ended up putting up too much of the brown, but that's okay. Anyways, what we're going for is kind of like a very like burnt orangey color. I'm not gonna lie to you, when it's in the little jar like that, it basically looks like carrot baby food. So that's what we're going with, a carrot baby food kind of look. Anyways, it works out. So what I did is I marked where my center spot is on my board, and I've already cut this out using my Cricut, and it says welcome to our pumpkin patch. I took it out of Design Space, but I kind of did a little bit of editing, so I'll link it for you below in case you want to check it out. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to just take a sponge applicator, and I am going to go straight up and down. And the vinyl that I used on here is a removable vinyl. I prefer this to use this for a stencil whenever possible. I've already weeded it, and you'll notice at the top and the bottom I have two little circles cut out so that I knew where my like center spot was. That's a little tip for you. And now I'm going to remove all of the vinyl. I did 2 coats on the lettering, and I'm removing it all. Just basically just peel it all back, just like you normally would. And you're going to try your hardest not to gouge the wood. It is really easy to do. It's not as big a deal on a project like this because it's obviously a lot more in the rustic direction of things. So it's not the end of the world if you do it, and don't worry about it. You can always fix stuff, right? Everything is fixable. So once that is all said and done, and I am going now in with a little bit of this DIY wax, and this is in the color dark. Such a great description, right? It's just dark. It's almost black. To be really honest, it is a very dark brown, almost black. And I'm just taking it with a chip brush and going over all of the lettering at the very minimum, trying to just make it look slightly less baby food carrots colored and a little bit more rustic orangey burnt color. I know, guys, you're here for the description of colors. And once I have completely kind of gone over everything, giving it just a really nice rustic look, it's going to kind of be perfect for fall. I think this is the vibe I'm leaning towards, and I did not do the back side because we're going to save that for Christmas, but it turned out so cute. I absolutely love it. On to the next one. This is my inspiration. I actually found it over on Pinterest. I'll link it below for you in case you want to check it out. But I did the good old fashioned, printed it out, and then traced the kind of shape of it. I cut it out myself. I didn't do it on the Cricut. Thought about it. I was like, you know what? We're just going to go less tech. Not low tech because I still had to print it out on my printer, but low tech. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a piece of painter's tape down the middle-ish. It's not quite the middle, it's off to one side. And now I'm going in with some of the chiffon cream from Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I am going to do 2 coats. I'll peel up my little bit of painter's tape, and then I'm going to reposition that right over the edge of that chiffon cream color so that I can then go over it with my burnt orange color, my custom color, my carrot baby food color. It looks fine, right? It looks good. It's a good color. It just looks like carrot baby food. Anyways, I am going to go ahead and go over that. I was so happy I made just enough to get through these projects. But we're going to go ahead and go over that other side of the pumpkin. And on this one, when it ends up being done, I kind of feel like it looks a little bit like leather. I was really happy with it. I'm not worried about the line if it's like perfectly crisp because we're going to do something over that. I'm going to take some of this surface wax from Chalk Couture and I'm going to put that over on the lighter color and then kind of in the middle. That way we can definitely get a pretty fair amount of coverage there because that's where the majority of the chalking is going to be done. Not do. We're going to be done. And then I'll go over some of the other side too. I'm going to just take this little, this is like an 8x10 size, and it's got tons and tons of little sayings and little graphics and really cute. It actually has like a whole bunch of stuff that goes with it as far as the surface goes, but I didn't buy it. I am going to use it though. This says Autumn Vibes. It's totally different than the inspiration picture, but I can't wait. I'm so excited for it. Anyways, I do decide to do this part first. This is a pumpkin with like little wheat looking graphic design to it, but don't worry, I'm not going to chalk a pumpkin on a pumpkin, although now that I'm thinking about it, that would have been kind of cute too. I'm actually just using it more for the pattern. I wanted the pattern on here and I thought this would be kind of cute. So I'm just going to take some of the black velvet chalk paste and I'm just going to kind of be a little bit more on the sporadic side. I've got a piece that's going down the middle. I've got some going on the one side. They're not level. They're not even. I didn't want them to be. I thought it would be kind of cute, give it a little bit of texture. I like the way that the inspiration picture did it as well, but again, I didn't have that exact thing, so I figured this would be a good way to kind of get a similar concept. And then I'm just going to kind of keep going, finding little bits and places to place it. And again, as long as you're not making it into the pumpkin shape or not, going all the way around it, it's not going to look like a pumpkin shape. Now I'm going to place the Autumn Vibes part. I've already done my fuzzing on it, which is basically just removing some of the stickiness to the back. And then I will then just add in my same black colored paste, which in hindsight, I kind of wish I'd done a gray to kind of make it a little bit more muted toned, but that's okay. It is what it is, right? It's black now. And once it's all nice and dry, I'm going to go in with that same wax from DIY and I'm going to just give it a really healthy coating of the wax. I'm going to go a lot heavier on the perimeter and then we'll kind of work it on in. I get all of my DIY products from Upcycled by Bree. I'm going to list her shop down below. She's also on YouTube. And actually quite a lot of the kind of like inspiration from these projects today were from her because she gets into like that industrial farmhouse stuff and she sells a lot of materials too. So if you just don't happen to have, the scrap wood or salvage stuff, she is a perfect source to go and check out. I'm going to have her shop list for you below. Not sponsored by her. I buy all the stuff that I get from her. I just thought that it'd be nice to share it. I love shopping, you know, small businesses, especially women-owned businesses. So it's a great, you know, it's great when you can support people that are truly, you know, have become friends. But anyways, I am going to finish this up. Apparently I wanted to show the waxing process in its entirety. I'm going to add a little bit of embellishment here on the top part of the pumpkin. Don't worry, I did end up painting the backside. I did it in the chiffon cream color and did a little bit of waxing over it. But I'm going to add some of this twine here. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue just to kind of keep it nice and have it not come untied, not come apart, all of that. And I'm going to add this Dollar Tree little faux leather leaf. I thought that it was just a really cute little touch. I am kind of loving all of the different textures and textiles and all of that for fall that I've seen coming out, you know, from different stores, Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, it doesn't matter. I've seen tons of different like textures coming out. So I'm kind of loving that right now. So I did do a quick little brushing of the wax over the leaf just to give it a little something to emphasize some of those folds and make it look, I don't know, to me a little bit more realistic. It looks pretty decent, I'll be honest, even from Dollar Tree. But then I'm going to take a couple little beads. I think these came off of like a beaded garland at one point in time or another. And I'm just going to string just a few of them. I think I go with 3. Yes, 3. I'll tie a knot at the end, add a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that it doesn't come off of the end, and then this project will basically be done. I'm going to show it to you here in just a minute. Here it is. I think it turned out really cute though. This is a cute little addition to kind of bring us into the fall time. It's August, it's fall, right? All right, so I have we'll call it a cutting board. For the lack of a better word, we're going to call it a cutting board. I cut it off of just a piece of plywood, and much like I did with the pumpkin, I'm going to go in with the same wood tend that I did on our first sign, and then we're going to kind of go from there. I'm going to give just a quick little sanding all around the edges, and this one is kind of inspired by a piece as well. If I remember right, because I didn't save it, if I remember right, it came from Wayfair, but I don't think it's even available anymore. Now this one is going to turn out pretty rustic. I like the concept. It definitely works on the concept. I made the mistakes so that you don't have to on these next 2 projects. All right, so I'm going to I've got this roll of paper that I got off of Amazon, and I'm going to take some of this black chain that I got from, I think like a planter thing off from Dollar Tree. And we're going to make like almost like a little shopping list thing that you can post up on the wall, keep your shopping list. If you really want to get into the fall thing, you can do like things that you're thankful for, or I don't know. To me, food is the same, is definitely in the same world as fall. We eat more food come fall time just because it's cozy, it's comforting, it's warm, we love it. So I'm going to take a couple of screws and I'm just going to screw it down into the backside of my little cutting board, faux cutting board, decorative cutting board, whatever you want to call it. I will put no food on this, do not worry. And I've actually got this little bit of chain is hanging on to it. It's not, I did not screw the screw all the way in. This way the chain can actually be unhooked from that screw. That way, as I run out of this paper, I can't imagine it's going to happen anytime soon because it's like 100 feet or something of the paper. I don't know. I will probably, this thing will probably not be on my wall long enough for that to happen, but you never know, right? You can never tell. It's a lot of paper. That's a lot of shopping lists. But then I'm going to basically have it positioned, and then I will add another screw and add the other side of the chain. I do actually end up moving the first screw down a little. I don't remember if I show you. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? We're going to find out together here in a minute. Yep, I do it for you again because I thought like that first one wasn't sitting quite in the right spot. It's perfectly fine. Again, this is kind of proving out a concept. It turns out okay. I mean, I like the concept. I think that the overall project turned out super rustic. It's not as finished and polished as I would like, but that's my personal preference. Anyways, I add the screw in a different spot. I screw it down just a little bit. I don't want to screw it all the way through, obviously, but definitely, like I said, the concept is here. I am going to take a very cheap ruler that I think came from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to guess it is. One side, the part where all the measurements are is like this stuck on rubbery thing. Originally, I was like, oh, well, it's kind of cute. A ruler, that's handy. Then I was like, well, wait a second. There's a hole in one side. I don't want that part to be on my project. I'm going to snip it with my miter shears. I just kind of held it up to measure it. I didn't do like a technical measuring method. But then I was like, oh, well, I could flip it around and it'll look much nicer because I snipped off like the first 2 inches of it. So the ruler concept didn't really carry forward. So I peel off the sticky parts, which comes off with no effort whatsoever. And I'm just right now sanding the sides of it, which you couldn't see. And I attach it with some glue, and here it is. I'm sorry I didn't show you the attaching part of the glue. I thought I had it in here, but apparently I did not. Hey everyone, it's Theresa, and I just wanted to jump in here real quick and just to say I hope you guys are liking the DIY so far. I've got the first 2 were kind of more fallish, the last 2 are kind of more everyday-ish. I don't know. I think it still kind of has a fall vibe to it, at least in my mind it does. Sorry, there's like super crazy chaos going on behind me in my room. It's kind of the normal state of my room anymore, but I want to make sure that you know that this video is part of a playlist. It is one that I am hosting with Jamie from Simple Roots Simple Living, and this month we have Sammy from Unicorn Dust Designs and Tammy from Happiness Created are participating in Salvage Saturday, or Salvage, whatever day of the week it is that you're watching this. I hope you guys will go and check out their channels. I'll have everyone's channel listed below, as well as the playlist. And I cannot wait to see what everyone has in store this month. And I'm just super excited about it. I hope you guys are too. I've got some fun things coming up on my channel in the next couple of weeks. On the 17th of August, I'm going to be going live on my channel. I've got some cute little trivia questions. I don't know. Fact or lie questions, something or other, on my community tab. Check them out. I've got them every day leading up to that. So if you're watching this when it comes out, I've already got a couple done, got a couple more. It's a little fun thing. Anyways, make sure you check out everybody. If you're new here, I would love it if you would subscribe and kind of join my YouTube family. And let's jump back into the DIYs. All right, so this project is 100% inspired by Upcycled by Bree because she shared that she was using the same exact wood for the exact same project. Basically, when I cut out my board, I had little scraps left over on the sides. You can see there, it's like a little puzzle. And I've already painted them in the chiffon cream from Rust-Oleum, both sides, front and back. And now I am going to decoupage some of this decoupage paper on there. I got this from my friend Kimberly over at My Victorian Heart. If you've been here for a little while, you know I love her little shop. And I'll have it listed for you below if you want to check it out. Again, woman-owned, small business. You can't get much better than that. Now, in this moment, I'm going to let you know I put the decoupaged paper on the wrong sides. Be aware, especially if you have decoupage paper that has words on it, which bookend, that's what we're making, by the way, a bookend, which bookend goes on the left, which bookend goes on the right, because the bookend I'm doing this on right now has the first part of this word, and it ends up on the wrong side. But that's okay. It still looks good. I think at the end, it still looks good. Again, we're definitely proving out a concept here. I did add some decoupage gel. This one is from Pentar. It is called Decoupage Varnish and Glue in the matte persuasion. I don't know. And that one came from Kimberly as well. And I added a pretty healthy coat and very, very minimal in like the wrinkles or the bubbles or the whatevers. And that I am going to say is probably from using, this nice quality varnish and glue and the decoupage paper. That one is from Roy Cycled, I think. I'm going to list it for you below. I think she still has this particular sheet available. It has like 4 different designs all in one sheet. I This is probably my favorite decoupage paper that I've used to date from this brand, not necessarily this sheet. I like this sheet too, but this brand is my favorite one to use. I'm going to go in again with some of the DIY wax. Keep in mind, whenever you use it, you want to scoop out however much you want to use with a clean tool of some type, like this little spatula knife. I think it came from the Dollar Tree as well. I clean it with rubbing alcohol, let it dry, scoop it out, and then clean it with rubbing alcohol again. I think the rubbing alcohol part is probably more than you necessarily need, but I want to keep it nice and clean so that you don't get anything into the wax, because it is a lot of natural stuff that they use for it, and you don't want anything growing in it. So same kind of concept here. I'm just going over all of the edges and then kind of starting to pull it in and going over all of the wood edges too. I'm going to take a couple little scrap pieces from the Dollar Tree planks. I think that's what they're called. It comes in like a little pack of like 5 or 6, and I cut them down with my miter saw real quick, and I'm basically just adding in little bits to my basically like the bones of my bookend. I'm going to make a little L shape with them. Again, be aware that it is the right side. This part I did not mess up on. It's just where the decoupage paper ended up on, but that's okay. It is what it is, right? I know for next time, I will be more than aware the next time I make these, because I will definitely be making some again. So I do glue it down, make the L, and now here I am gluing the actual like design part to the longer piece. In this one, basically, I just measured it kind of by sight to see that it fit. I'll add some of the Star-Bond glue, like I did on the last time, and then I'm going to spread it around. I put too much. I'll add my accelerator spray and put it right down. I kind of marked it, used my ruler on both sides to find the right area to put it, press it down, and it's going to be a pretty bookend. Ta-da! That was my ta-da hands. But they turned out really cute, even if they're kind of technically the wrong one on the wrong side. But that's all right. I'll know for next time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Do not forget to go check out the playlist I will have listed for you below. I'll have all of the creators listed below too, their links to their channels. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoy their videos. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. I'd love to have you, and I will see you next time.